Hello everyone. In today's class, we'll study the continuous frequency distribution. Continuous frequency distribution. While framing a frequency distribution, if class intervals are considered, then it is called continuous frequency distribution. For example, the weight of persons are given. Okay, here you can see the class intervals are given and the frequencies are given. So you can say that 10 people has their weight between 30 to 40 kgs and 15 people are having their weight between 40 to 50 kgs and 40 people have their weight between 50 to 60 kgs and so on. So if the class intervals are given, such kind of distribution is known as continuous frequency distribution. Now let us study some important factors for the formation of continuous frequency distribution. The first term is range. It is the difference between highest value and lowest value in the data. To calculate range, we have the formula range is equal to h minus L, where h is the highest value and L is the lowest value. Let us understand this using an example. So here the observations are given. To calculate range, first of all write on the formula of range. So the formula is range is equal to h minus L. So in the formula we need the highest value and we need lowest value. So from this data, the highest value is 21 and the lowest value is 1. So substitute these values in the formula. We get 21 minus 1 is equal to 20. Therefore range of this distribution is equal to 20. And the next term we have is class. The sub-range is called class. Let us consider an example, that is the marks scored by students out of 100 in statistics subject. Okay. Now you can see that the marks are given here and number of students are given. So students may score marks from 0 to 100. Okay. Some students may score 0 marks, some students may score 1 mark, some students may score 2 marks and some students may score 3 marks, etc. up to some students will score 100 marks. So it is difficult to say that how many students scored 0 and how many students scored 1 mark, how many students scored 2 marks, etc. up to how many students scored 100 marks. This is a very lengthy process, right? So to avoid this lengthy process, we are using sub-range. Okay. So here we can say that 3 students have scored the marks between 0 to 10. 7 students have scored the marks between 10 to 20. 12 students have scored the marks between 20 to 30 and so on. So this is called the sub-range or class. Here you can see 0 to 10 is a class and 10 to 20 is another class. 20 to 30 is another class. Similarly 30 to 40 is another class. So all these are called as class or sub-range. Next we will see what is class limit. The lowest and the highest values which are taken to define the boundaries of a class are called class limits. For example, 30 to 40, 40 to 50 and so on are class limits. The lower value is called lower limit and the highest value is called upper limit. So this is a class limit 30 to 40 and 40 to 50. So in this 30 is the minimum value or the lowest value, hence it is called lower limit, and 40 is the maximum value or the highest value, hence it is called as the upper limit. If you consider the class 40 to 50, here 40 is the lower limit and 50 is the upper limit of the class. Let us consider another example. So here you can see the class limits are given 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, all these are the class limits. So here you can see all these are the minimum values, lowest values, hence it is called as lower limits, and all these are the maximum values, hence it is called as the upper limits. Okay, so this is the class limit. Next we will see what is midpoint or class mark. The central value or the middlemost value of a class is called midpoint or class mark. It is the average of class limits. To calculate the midpoint, we have the formula m or x is equal to lower limit plus upper limit divided by 2. Let us consider an example. Find the midpoint of the class 10 to 20. Okay. So to calculate the midpoint, we have the formula lower limit plus upper limit divided by 2. So in this class 10 is the lower limit and 20 is the upper limit. So substitute these two values in the formula. We get 10 plus 20 divided by 2, that is 15. So 15 is the midpoint of the class 10 to 20. If we consider another example, here distribution is given. So to calculate the midpoint of the class 0 to 10, we have to do 0 plus 10 divided by 2. We get 5. Okay, in the same way, if you want to calculate the midpoint of the class 10 to 20, it is nothing but 10 plus 20 divided by 2. We get 15. In the same way, if you want to calculate the midpoint of the class 60 to 70, it is the lower limit plus upper limit divided by 2. That is 60 plus 70 divided by 2. We get 65. Okay, in this way we can calculate the midpoint of all the classes. So midpoint is nothing but it is the average of class limits. Okay, next we have width or size of the class. The difference between the upper limit and lower limit of the class is called width of the class. It is denoted by C or I. For example, find the width of the class interval 30 to 40. So first of all, write down the formula of the width. Formula of width is nothing but it is the difference between upper limit and the lower limit. Hence, C is equal to upper limit minus lower limit is equal to, here in this class the upper limit is 40 and the lower limit is 30. Therefore, 40 minus 30 is equal to 10. So 10 is the width of this class. Okay, if we consider another example, so here distribution is given and here class intervals are given. So if you want to calculate the width of the first class, that is 10 to 20, then it is upper limit minus lower limit. 20 minus 10, we get the width as 10. And in the second class it is 25 minus 20, we get 5. And in the third class 35 minus 25, we get 10. And in the fourth class 50 minus 35, we get 15. And in the last class it is 60 minus 50, we get 10. In this way we can calculate width of the class. Next we will see what is number of class. The number of classes can be obtained by using the Professor Strudge's rule. Number of classes is equal to, we have the formula 1 plus 3.322 log n, where n is the number of observations. And here we have to make use of logarithm tables. And we have a small note here. We can also calculate the width by using this formula, that is width of the class is equal to range divided by number of classes. Okay. Next let us consider an example. Let us consider the weight of 50 students of a college. So here the observations are given. These are the weights of the students and the question is form a frequency distribution table. So to form a frequency distribution table, first we need to calculate the range. Range is equal to highest value minus lowest value, that is equal to 64 minus 32. So here in this distribution you can see the highest value is 64 and the lowest value is 32. Hence the range is equal to 32. And the number of classes is equal to 1 plus 3.322 log n. Okay, that is 1 plus 3.322 log 50. Here we know that n is equal to 50. Total there are 50 observations. That is nothing but after calculating log we get 6.64. That is nearly equal to 7 classes. Okay, approximately it is equal to 7 classes. Next let us calculate the size of the class or width of the class. So write down the formula of width, that is C is equal to range divided by number of class. So here range is 32 divided by number of class is 7. Hence we get it as it is approximately equal to 5. Okay. So after calculating this, let us form the frequency distribution table. So first we have to write down the class intervals. See here the lowest value is 32. And the highest value is 64. So let us start the class intervals from 30 to 35, 35 to 40, 40 to 45, 45 to 50, 50 to 55, 55 to 60, 60 to 65. So here we got the width as 5. So everywhere we have to keep the width as 5. Okay, which means it is a gap. So here 30 to 35, the gap is 5. Okay, width is 5. So everywhere we have to keep the width as 5. Okay, and the number of classes should be 7. Here we got the number of classes as 7. So the total number of classes should be 7. Now to mark the tallies, what you should do is check the number here. So in the data, the first number is 42. So where 42 lies? 42 lies in this class interval, that is 40 to 45. So mark a tally. Okay. So in the same way, go on marking tallies for all the numbers. Then write on the frequencies. So in the first class interval, that is 30 to 35, we have 2 tally marks. So here the frequency is 2. And in the second class, that is 30 to 40, the tally marks are 6 tally marks we have, hence count it and write down the frequency as 6. In the same way, write down all the frequencies. And we get the total as n is equal to 50. Okay, so this is a continuous frequency distribution table. Let us consider another example. Following are the marks obtained by the students in a certain test. Prepare a frequency distribution with an interval of 10 marks each using inclusive class interval. So here data are given. We have to prepare a inclusive class interval frequency distribution table with inclusive class interval. Okay. So let us prepare a frequency distribution table. So first of all, let us write down the class intervals. So here first we have to check the highest value and the lowest value in the given data. So in this data, the lowest value is 12 and the highest value is 69. So we can start writing the class intervals from 10. Since the class is inclusive class, we have to write it in this way: 10 to 19, 20 to 29, 30 to 39, 40 to 49, 50 to 59, 60 to 69. See, the highest number is 69, so we have written till 69. So in inclusive class intervals, the upper limit of the class and the lower limit of the next class should not match. They should not be equal. Okay, they are not equal. Next, mark the tallies. So here the first number is 39. So according to the number, check the number here and mark the tally here. So the first number is 39. So 39 lies in this class, in the third class. And the next number is 49. 49 lies in this class. So mark a tally here. So go on marking tallies until you finish all the numbers. So after marking tallies, count the number of tallies and write down the frequencies. So here in the first class we have 4 tally marks. So the frequency is 4. And in the second class we have 5 tally marks. So the frequency is 5. Okay, in the same way, write down all the frequencies. Hence the total is n is equal to 30. Okay, here we have total 30 observations. So here also you will get the total as n is equal to 30. This is a continuous frequency distribution table. Okay, thank you for watching.